Hey everybody, George Lugo Jr. here from Queens, New York. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is 3 tips on how to keep your team. 3 tips on how you can get your downline motivated to stay and not leave. So before I get into those tips, understand that no matter what company you're involved with, whether you recruited 1 person, 3, 5, 100, a million, you're always going to have people that fall out. That's just the reality. You can't keep everybody. It'll be, if you recruited 10 people and 10 people stay, that's fantastic. But the reality is people are going to come in, they're going to try it, and they're going to say it's not for me, and they're going to run away. Now, what I'm going to show you today is how you can get the majority of the people to stay. So let's dive right into it. So tip number 1, don't complain to your downline. And I see this a lot. My previous company, it got to the point where towards the end of, to the end of where I was in that company, just before I left, my vibration changed. My thinking changed because of my upline. My upline started complaining to me about the company and about some other things. I'm really not going to get into it in this video. But that person continued to complain, but it wasn't one day. It was like for a whole week. And so I had a positive. I said, don't worry about it, be fine, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, that person changed my mind. How many times has that ever happened to you? Do you know someone that's being done right now? You see, when you start complaining to your downline, what ends up happening is you change the vibration of your downline. You see, your downline is watching you; they're looking up to you. And if you turn around and tell them that, hey, I'm looking, or I don't like the way the company's doing this and this and this and that. So then, what ends up happening? They start to leave, or they start to look too. And in the last step, I'm going to get into why they do that more in detail. But that's the thing. If you complain to your downline will follow suit. They'll have a negative attitude. They'll have a negative spin about the company. They'll end up doing nothing and then leaving. If you're going to complain, if you got something to bitch about, go upline. Always go upline, because the upline's job is going to address those areas, coach you in those areas where you need some help, or if you have some concerns, they'll help you address those concerns and also inspire you, because that's what we do as leaders. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, don't call your downline for no reason. I see this all the time. Don't call your downline for no reason. If you're going to call them, yes, you know what? We have to, as a business, we tend to, we like to build a relationship with especially with our team. We want a good friendship and a good relationship, because guess what? It's all about relationships, right? However, you can't waste time. And being on the phone with your downline, just talking about crap, it really does not serve you, and it doesn't serve them. If you want them to be making phone calls on a daily basis, you can't be on the phone just talking about the weather and talking about, the game or something like that. You have to, when you talk to your downline, you have to call them up and say, hey, Mike, how you doing? It's George. Hey, what's going on, man? How's things going? Things are going great. Good, good, good. Did I catch a good time? Yes, you did. Fantastic. What do you got lined up for me today? See, that's something that you want to do. You want to teach them accountability, so you want to ask them, hey, what do you got for me today? You got something lined up for me today? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I made about 4 phone calls and one clicked. All right, great. If you need a 3-way call, I'm here for you. What else? You got some stuff lined up for tomorrow? Are you actively prospecting on Facebook? What's your game plan? That's how you call your downline. You're going to teach them accountability. Okay, you're not sticking a cane up their spine, or hitting them in the ribs saying, hey, get to work, because that's not what you should be doing. They should be motivated enough to do that. But you should be asking them what you have lined up, what do you expect from them, and that'll teach them accountability, and believe me, that will move them forward. And tip number 3, last tip, be the example. And it goes back to the first 2 steps. Don't bitch to your downline. Don't complain. Okay? Don't call them for no reason. And be the example. What do I mean by that? If you want your team to recruit, you need to be actively recruiting. If you want your team to be having home parties, or if you want your team to be having meetings, or if you want your team to be inviting people to webinars, whatever the process is to introduce new people to your company, you need to do that. You need to be the example, because I learned this a long time ago. People don't do what you say, they do what you do. So if you're actively not recruiting, your team will stop recruiting. And guess what? When they stop recruiting, when they stop selling your product and the service, guess what's happened? They're out of business. And that's when they start looking. You have to learn that whatever you do, that's what they do. So I don't know if you ever heard of this before. Many leaders say this: as my team grows, I got to work harder. And you're like, huh? I don't get it. When your team starts to grow, you got to keep up with that. Because if you want that team to grow, you got to work harder. And I mean really hard. And I'm not talking management mode. I did a previous video about management mode. Just there's a link below this video that will take you to that on management mode, because that in itself is another video. And I also did a blog post on that, so the link is below this video. But don't get into management mode, meaning you stop everything and you're a manager and start, directing traffic. Okay, you do this, you do. That's not what you do. This is not a job. This is a business. This is a business. This is something that you're passionate about. When you're passionate about something, it's not a job. It's something you love doing. And so you want to teach that to your downline. So I hope these 3 steps helped you a lot. If you follow this and you apply this, you will keep more of your downline. If you are like me, inside of network marketing and always looking for ways and tips and strategies on how to build your business online, visit georgelugojr.com. That's georgelugojr.com. Enter your name, email, and phone number to the right of the screen, and you'll be getting emails from me for invitations to webinars hosted every single Wednesday by my good friends, 6- and 7-figure income earners, teaching you how to build your business online. So if this video has helped you, go ahead and comment and share. I always appreciate that, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.